I just want to get your comment on what you have to say to the people who have had extremely traumatic experience and feel like they've been sexually assaulted from how invasive your procedures are.
Well, so part of the reason we've gone to a risk-based, intelligence-driven approach is to get away from, for example, the number of pat-downs that we used to do. So those 12 and under and 75 and older in particular, it would be very unusual that they would have a pat-down now since we changed those policies. We're sensitive.
What about even those people who aren't under 12 or 75 though? There's just normal everyday people, aged people that are feeling like these procedures are extremely invasive.
Well, they can be. I think we had to get back to two issues. One, there are many fewer pat-downs than we used to do because, for example, if you go through an advanced imaging technology and there's an alarm, let's say you forgot your watch or you have your BlackBerry or iPhone or something, instead of a full body pat down, it's a targeted pat down. So for example, when I went through AIT and selective screening on Friday, there were two things, one right around my neck and one up here for some reason. So they actually did just a targeted pat down right there as opposed to doing a full body pat down. That's one thing. The other thing is we have to be mindful of what the threats are. So we've seen two instances on Christmas Day 2009 and then last April, which didn't get much play, about the non-metallic IED that is frankly not a whole lot bigger than this that could be concealed either on a person or in their carry-on bag, and if there is a person can walk through a metal detector 1,000 times and never alarm. So the advanced imaging technology, the body scanner gives us the best opportunity to detect that, but let's say it's detected that there's an anomaly, and Abdul Muttalib, the Christmas Day bomber, he had it in his underwear. So let's say there's an anomaly in the groin area. There's only really one way to resolve that, and that's asking the person to disclose what that is, and if they say there's nothing there, then it's through a pat-down. That would be very unusual, though, that we would have that type of pat-down done, but we need to have that as basically a last resort.
What about all the workers that there's been a rampant amount of crime with TSA workers stealing, and obviously there isn't much background done on these people. There's been a lot that there's been child molesters and things like that in the TSA. Why is this such a high rate of these kind of people working in this kind of job?
Well, so I disagree that there's a high rate or it's rampant. They're isolated incidents. We have over 47,000 screeners nationwide, over 60,000 employees total, so that's almost a small city in some respects. So we have had some isolated incidents where there have been people accused and convicted of theft. We have a zero tolerance policy for anybody who steals from the checkpoint, either checked bags or otherwise. Several months ago, I initiated what we call integrity testing, and I announced to the workforce that we would be doing testing to assess whether people are demonstrating the hard work, professionalism, and integrity that I expect of all employees. And so people are on notice that we are going to airports and we are intentionally leaving things in the bin as it goes through, or putting valuables through check bags just to assess. The good news is, in those 20 plus airports that we have done this covert testing, and multiple instances, and each time we've only had one instance where an employee has, I believe it was an iPad, who was stolen that. So we're trying to not only educate the public, but the workforce to say there's zero tolerance. Not only will you be fired, but you may be prosecuted criminally, so you lose your job, you have a criminal conviction, and so we'll move from there. So that's how we're trying to address that. Did you have something?
Yes. John Hopkins has said that the TSA has misconstrued their study when you said that they said that it was safe, and that's not what they were saying. They were saying that it was below a certain level, but they don't actually think that it's safe. Why did the TSA misconstrue that?
Well, we sure didn't intend to misconstrue. We obviously focus on not only the Johns Hopkins Applied School of Physics, the National Institute of Standards and Technology, and two other studies, one by the Army and another one, that assessed if you're talking about the advanced imaging technology, the radiation, it's become a moot point, though, because all those machines, the backscatter radiation machines, will be out of airports by May 31st. So we've removed all those. Or we are in the process of removing all of those. I think there's probably 135 still left around the country because they did not comply with our contractual requirements that they have the privacy filter built in, and a congressional mandate that said that they would have those privacy filters built on. So we're removing all those machines. We canceled the contract. So thanks, folks. Okay.
These people are drunk with power, and they've been deciding in a secret process who's going to live and die every Tuesday for God knows how many years now. And so, you know, it to me is indicative of
a U.S. citizen be imprisoned without charges based on this theory that the president could essentially exercise whatever powers he wanted against anyone.